guys, we're gonna do another one just to show you guys. Decided the next car I'm actually gonna start is one of my personal favorite. Probably some of you guys' favorite. Some of you guys probably don't even know this car, but this car, well, basically what started it all.
Final round.
This car has been sitting out for I think like the past like 4 years. It's been sitting collecting dust, and I mean, shitty situation about the FC getting wrecked. It kind of helps me now to get this car done. First thing that we did to this car, this engine, literally, we're just gonna run it. Hopefully it works correctly. It worked perfectly in the FC, so it should just work basically perfectly in this car too. So we have the engine. It's a S5 Turbo 2, really modified. It's not stock. Clutch Masters 850 series twin disc, Turbo 2 transmission, custom dry shaft, custom rear ends. I mean, all that stuff was done before. The only thing that we're adding is putting the engine back into the car. I was able to basically drop the engine in straight into the car because if you look down here, this thing has a second gen subframe. Part of the reason why this car is taking me so long to get it to where it's at right now is that I was tired of the car just being way too fast and not stopping and handling like shit. So I just cut up an FC subframe, welded it, made it work, and as it is right now, it steers. Now we're to a stage where the car actually rolls forward, turns, doesn't bind, so everything's good to go. One last step I have to do to the car is down here. It's basically the steering column. See how it's loose? So I have to make a bracket to hold this in place, so when I turn the steering wheel, this doesn't happen. Should be pretty straightforward, just a bracket that holds, a clamp that holds the come to the firewall and the frame rail, so it should be pretty easy to do. And after that, I can actually get back into the car and finish all the work I need to do to it. You look in here, you see those big old brakes. So the car now has Turbo 2 brakes, so they're 4-piston brakes, huge rotors, huge brakes, big hog pads. So it should help this car stop, because this car was making like 500 before. Now we're gonna bump it a little more because we have basically the engine out of the FC. So went ahead, basically I had to re-drill the FC Turbo 2 rotors to 4-lug using a 4-lug hub out of an FC. So the cool stuff is in here. So the car has Parshov Max angle breaker kit? Yeah, angle breaker kit on it. So it has knuckles, the control arm, and it even has BC coilovers, FC still, but with different top hats. Right now we have these that I made, but we're actually gonna re-drill we have to cut the BC one for the version deeper to allow me to run more camber to fit these wheels into our fenders. Other than that, just been working on it slowly. So I have my middle turbo manifold for it. It's not really completed. It's actually a little too high now, so I have to cut it down and shorten it. But what I'm gonna do is down here, I'm just gonna connect both runners together to one wastegate. I like running one wastegate more than two. I don't know why. Just like the sound of a one wastegate run sounds way cleaner than duals. So I'm gonna do that. And of course, once I get new fenders, because my old fenders, they're over there, I actually ran them over, so I have to get new fenders, and I'm gonna put the wastegate out the side again. Cause that was one of the coolest things about the car, that we literally had a side-by-side wastegate, so you'll see fireballs out the side and out the back. Also, once I get everything mounted, I have to cut a hole in the hood. Hopefully this time I cut it right, cause last time I did a really shitty job. But to cut a hole in the hood, drop this vent on it, get some air into the engine bay, cool everything down. And now I need new fenders. I mean, they weren't that bad, this can be fixed. But this thing fell the other day, and while we're pushing it, and it literally ruined. So now I need new fenders for this car. I still have all the links set up on the car still, so everything that was in the FC is now in this, which is weird because I literally used this car to make the whole harness for the FC. So back into here now, fits perfect. I mean, we made it on the car. The only difference we're gonna have is that I have a Blitz intercooler core, and then this car has a Garrett GTX 3584. So this thing's gonna rip way better turbo than what I had on before. This actually new, is not an old turbo, so it's gonna perform way more. Literally, what I'm looking at the car right now is about still really far from getting it running. Even though the engine ran, I have to do oil coolers, radiator, chassis wiring. Literally, the car has no wiring whatsoever. So the chassis wiring, I have to do a downpipe. The downpipe is going to be the hardest part of all the fabrication because you literally have this much space for the downpipe. So I have to do pie cuts basically all the way down almost to here. So I'm going to hit up my boys at JMD because they basically sell pre-made pie cuts. So it'll be way easier for me to just buy the pie cuts, make the downpipe. It's not done there. Is the existing exhaust. I basically just have to connect it straight to there, put an O2 bung, and done. And then for the intercooler core, if you can tell, the big difference is because my dumbass made that manifold without having an engine bolted up like correctly. So now the engine's bolted up, it literally says way too high. So two options. One is lower the engine mounts, which is really easy to do, or just remake the whole thing. Right now I'm kind of leaning into just lowering the engine a little bit, and hopefully I don't have to mess with the piping too much, just because we're having to redo the manifold, the intercooler pipe, and everything's kind of like shitty. So I might just get around with just lowering the engine, like probably like a quarter inch, and it'll fit perfectly. Still have to make brake lines to the car. The rear still need to put the extended studs and brake pads and wheel bearings. But it's not really too much work I have to do in the car. It should be running pretty soon. I'm just missing a bunch of little parts. I have to buy front fenders, new fender flares. I'm missing the rear garnish for the taillights. I have to buy a new bumper for it. And that's about it. The plan I have right now for the car is to get it running, dyno it, take it to, basically take it out for like a track day, and then bring it back in and take the whole car apart again, and then take it to get painted. Because one of the reasons why this car is taken apart way long ago is because the paint's really bad. It is pretty bad. Whoever painted this car before is a dumbass. Literally painted right over the original paint, didn't even primer it, so it's just chipping away everywhere. So the car's come all the way to the metal to fix it. I was able to cut the roof out of the FC and got the cage out because the cage was on this car before. So it's back on here, it's not bent. I need to get seats, steering wheel. I'm thinking now is I might get a dash for the car because before it was cool. I just couldn't really see shit, and I want to actually be able to see that I ordered a bunch of parts. I did get some money back from the FC, but it's nothing crazy, so I'm just going to use that money to get this thing running and get a little head start on the 20BFD also. Super excited about this build. Been trying to get this car running for a long time because not trying to be biased, but this literally was one of the coolest versions out. And now that I'm here in Virginia, I can actually race Mike because we've been having a long rival between his red version, not the build and battle one, the other version, and my blue version. So now that basically we're both here, and get this car running, get it tuned, call him out, smoke him, 100% my car will smoke him, and had the title for the fastest version between us, and probably might be one of the fastest versions in the area too. We'll see. There is 2 fast versions, but I'm gonna call them out and see what happens, see if they actually want to race. I am super confident in this engine setup, especially now that I have basically the Ignite plug. This car will be an Ignite E90, so we should be able to make a lot of horsepower in this car. I say 550 to the wheels would be perfect for me. I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna be like a little track car, but more something I can drive in the street and have fun with people. Because everyone always underestimates versions, especially the Streetport one, because it's super quiet. it'll be really fun to just basically just smoke the shit out of people. So enough about that first gen. Right now we're about to go to Mike's house to get his first gen because we're gonna use it for it's like a little like commercial for Advanced Autos we got ourselves into. So pick up the car, change the tires, go shoot the little commercial, and hopefully not break my diff, right, Mike?
What, you taking it at the track?
I guess. Yeah, man, that's how you treat my wheels.
In my wheels now.
Well, that's how you treat my gift. Luna, come here. Come here. Come here.
You forgot the tires were bald? It looked like two flamethrowers coming out of the tires.
I hit third, and I'm like,
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands.
oh yeah, it's a little bit.
He had it the whole time.